Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. It is the 20th of February. And today is official streaming day number 7, although this is day number 8 because I didn't stream yesterday. We had some technical challenges that I had to work through, and so I didn't want to do that on stream. So that's what we did. Just a quick recap. You can see I only have 2 accounts shown. We actually had some pretty poor performance that last day, and last day I streamed, so that would have been Wednesday, 2 days ago. And I went back in that afternoon, tried to salvage those accounts, didn't work. So we passed 2 more, and had a pretty good day yesterday. Well, after the technical issues, which was after the open and everything else, I traded a little bit, and so they ended up I don't know what they're, but about $100 on one, $230 on the other. So just enough to really record a trading day in those guys. And so starting over again. Fortunately, Apex is 90% off right now. So I guess if there's a time to start over, it's a pretty good time to do that. We had news this morning. We have other news. News at 9:45, so another 15 minutes. So the open could be kind of interesting. We've already had this big move down, very nice pullback, another move down. I actually passed 5 more accounts this morning on this action. So after I'm done trading these PA accounts, I might go in and see if we can get a couple more passed, see if we can get closer to that 20 PA account target. Especially on a day like today. It's Friday. There's news. Hopefully the market gives us some nice movement. Coming into the open here in 2 minutes. Can't figure out where I like my mic. I've moved it multiple spots and none of them really are great. Trying to keep it out of the camera so it's not distracting, but still close enough that I can be heard. So going into the open, we're kind of bouncing off a low here. I don't know. Might take a peek at the higher time frames. See if they have any clue to share. Not really. We're kind of in a range. If you look at the daily chart, this is the daily chart right here. We're kind of in this range. We've been big range, but we've been consolidating there for, this is day number 6 in this area. We did have a strong push down. This gap here on the daily is holding. So I think, it looks like we're probably, my bias on the day would be short, see what plays out. Could go either direction intraday. Not 60 second, 60 minute. On the hourly candle, strong, really strong downward pressure here for the last couple hours. We took out well, no, that wasn't yesterday's high. But yes, so earlier this morning we poked back up into this gap down from yesterday on the hourly chart and then dropped from there. So this is either a bottom or we continue lower, kind of taking out these lows here. So I won't be surprised to see a little bit of a bounce. Let's go back to the 3-minute. Got to keep track of my range on this because that's kind of what bit me last time was the range is a little bigger than I wanted to be. I went in 5 micros and stopped me out for a loss. So it wasn't a huge loss, but relative to the drawdown that I had, it was more than I should have taken. We are pretty far extended from our red line, from VWAP, from everything else. We're kind of bouncing off the bottom here. So I think a long from this area makes sense. Let's see what it gives us. Put in an OCO order. Those are ready to go. Again, we do have news at 9:45, so that don't know how that'll affect it, if at all. We should be in and out before the news, so I don't want that. Oh goodness, gotta start over again. Okay. Buy 3, sell 3. Okay. Don't think the sell is going to come into play, so we'll go ahead and throw it up here. In fact, virtually certain that it won't. Man, that is a strong, strong push. So that's either really good or really bad. I'm going to go with really good. I'm feeling optimistic this morning. I don't want to be too early. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And drop our order. Yep, that's good. All right. What's our little 56 points? Woof. That's a big, this is 3 micros. 3 micros. $800 on 3 micros. That's kind of a big, that would be a big loss. But it's pushing in our direction. Trade copier is working. Everything's in. Blasting out here. We're up into this resistance from earlier. So it either, you know, just for the last couple of days been chopped up. I might be a little cautious here. If it rips back, I might just pause and wait. Chicken out, take it at the 25% level. I mean, the thing is, it could, like I say, there's going to be resistance here. So the question is really, do I want to sit through it? Strong push on the 1 minute chart. A couple green candles in a row. 5 minute chart is still strong. ES is still pushing. I think I'm going to tighten up my stop just because I don't want to. Wait a minute. Did that say 800? Oh, 300. Oh, gosh. Thought 800 seemed like a big number. 325. That's not bad. We can survive a $325 loss. All right, we're getting a little pullback here. On 1 minute chart, we closed solidly above the red line, so I think that's a good thing. It could come down and test into kind of the green line here for a bounce up. So at this point, we either get out for a little bit of profit and hope for a pullback. But I think at this point, we can stay in it, especially since now that I've confirmed that's $300, not $800. All right, we are coming up to the overnight open. Oh, I didn't see that guy. He's right there. Overnight open and VWAP's right there. Is that a good place to take profit? I think it is. Well, I don't know. That is pushing. That is pushing. All right. All right. I have my target at the 75% level because that's where the last couple of days, especially when there's been a bigger opening 3 minute candle, that's as far as it's gone. If it gets up there. Okay, I'm going to take it there just because we're at overnight open. I don't want to rip it back. I don't want to rip back. I need a win, man. So that's a win, $400. Those accounts are done for the day. I'm going to now switch over to NQ and see if we can pass some of these accounts. So just, I guess, just to recap on that trade. I mean, it worked out really well. We'll see if it hits the 75% level. Looks like it's about to get there. And then, of course, the 100% is after that. Took my profits there because we have the red line VWAP and the overnight open, and so it made sense. I had made, I mean, $400. My target is oh, there's a 75%. My target's 325 per account per day. So if there's a level like that makes sense as a profit target, and it's also a spot where I would have my profits for the day, there's no reason not to lock it in, even if it continues higher. All right, so we got that 75%, and now we're starting to hesitate. Okay, I'm gonna change over to NQ. I'm gonna change my account. All right, we'll scroll up the accounts here. You can see I did so I passed 5 accounts earlier. I failed 5, and then this batch of 5. Currently up $2,000. I only need $900 left. So oh yeah, I need to change back to NQ. All right. There is hesitation. It almost got there. I mean, literally a couple points. Actually, hold on. I'm going to go back to MNQ just to see, because sometimes these are a little different. No, they're pretty similar. So we got, so far, it topped out up there at about 890 with 100% level at about 97. So about, 7 points on a 108. I mean, it went 100 points. We took. All right, let's just look at this. I'm going to do this just so that I can see it. All right, so we entered at 786. We sold at 853. Okay, so how many points is that? That's 14 and 50. So that's just under 60 points in that move. So, that's pretty good. It's a pretty good trade. I think we should be happy with that. I mean, easy 3-minute break. As you've seen the last couple of days, they don't always, the first break doesn't always work out that well, but when it does, we sure like it. We sure like it. So there's the trades I took if you're interested prior to this point. Guess we might as well do that to get sort of all, because we have news at 45, so 5 minutes. So I took a short right here for a small scalp, and then I took a long right here for another small scalp. We had a nice kind of divergence continuation, bull flag thing going on the second trade. Basically a green line trade on this first one. So there, we got a little bit of a pop there. Let's set an ATM strategy. Let's start out with this one. I need 1,000. I need $900. So if I went 3 contracts, 3 full minis, we'd have, let's see, $900. That's $300 a contract, which is 15 points, which is 61 ticks. 60 ticks, but 1 for good measure. I think I only actually have four accounts here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Huh. Boy, the way that Trade8 has these accounts in here makes it a little tricky. Oh, you know why? I have an account list. I have an account listed there that I don't show on Trade8 yet. That's why. Let me reset over here. There it is. All right, we'll leave it right there. Okay. Holy cow! Pump up to this. All right. Well, there would have been the 3 minute. There would have been the 100. The 100 tick mark. Man, rocketing up. Okay, that was the bounce. That was the bounce for sure. Kind of curious to see what news does here in 1 minute. Man, look at the 30-second chart. That was beautiful. Perfectly smooth pullback to the overnight open, bull flag. We got sort of an impulsive move out, a little hesitation, and then blasted up. I mean, out of here to there, 91 points in not much time. All right, I think I'll wait till after news. I don't want to lose progress in these accounts over a news candle, so we'll let news do its thing here for a minute. And then we will re-engage. I don't know if you can hear that racket behind me. We have a we have wooden siding on the house, and problem with wooden siding and living kind of in the forest here is that woodpeckers love our house. And so pest control people came out and installed these sort of spinning reflectors that are supposed to deter the woodpeckers. And of course they did it in the fall, you know, before it snows and all the birds disappear. And so we've been dealing with it all winter long. And I'm used to it at this point, but it is kind of an obnoxious sound. It's almost like, you know, it's like metal rubbing on metal as these things spin around, and kind of feel like they should need to go out there with some WD-40 or something. I don't know. So I don't know if that comes through on the audio or not. I guess I could go back and listen to the stream and see, but it's very loud for me, that's for sure. So if you hear that, that's what that is. All right, here's the news. See if it does anything. So we bounced off of the overnight open, straight back up to yesterday's overnight open. All right, news didn't do anything, which is just fine. That's actually better. So the 15-minute chart, if we take a gander, hit that guy. The 15-minute chart, try out this chart here. I mean, this single 15-minute candle inversed all of this price action down. Right now, we're up at the top of this very top little gap up here. It was created early this morning at 4 o'clock hour. So we'll see how it reacts with that, but that's extremely bullish. So I think we'll be okay with that. Candle size 20 ticks. That one was or 20 points rather. That was 26 points. So there's definitely enough range to get our 15 that we need. I don't really want to take it here just because we're going up into some areas here, but we do have that high day line sitting up there. And we have a very strong uptrend, so it could easily just continue. We're at the top of the 15-minute range. I'm just a little cautious on these accounts. I don't want to lose my progress here. So we'll see if we get a little breakout and a retest. It could just rocket up there to the high of the day though. It holds up here. See if we get a close outside that 15-minute range. Oh, I don't have any music on. Thinking, boy, it's quiet in here. I'm not sure I cared for the music that I had on last time, the guitar instrumental stuff. Let's try this, a little zen music. This music is supposed to provide ultimate brain power and productivity. Definitely need all the brain power we can get. All right, let's go back to our other chart. 1 minute chart here. All right, so we did get a close outside of that open range, but closed outside of the 15-minute range, but pulled straight back, which is excellent. I love that because it gives me an opportunity to get in off of green line. Ideally, if this stochastic came back down, but we're hanging way up there. Way up there, so we'll see. Got kind of an inside bar forming. It's interesting. ES. The current ES 5-minute candle is an inside bar after this little uptrend. NQ's not. NQ's 5-minute bar took out the high and then came down. I don't know what that means, but interesting. I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna take this right here because our stochastic is still falling. I wanna wait and see if we get a little more of a pullback. If we don't and it pushes up, that's fine. If we push through here, I might take a break long. So I want to pull back, preferably to where my stochastic is somewhere down towards the bottom quarter of the range there. If we were to pop, I would probably just jump in on momentum on a break back out of that 15-minute range. Kind of looks like it's not going to happen, at least for a second. Okay. All right, it's a much better pullback. There we go. There we go. Come all the way down to that blue line. If we get a retest here and a reaction up, I will jump in long. If it just falls from here, that's okay too. Just waiting. Again, right here I'm trading some evaluation accounts. I have 5 of them going on the copier. You only see 2 on your screen because that's what I have it scrunched into, because I have 2 PA accounts right now. But rest assured, there's 3 more doing what that guy's doing. Not trying to hide anything, but you know, I'm not gonna reset the entire layout just for that. Hopefully on Monday we'll need more space for all the PA accounts we have. All right, still falling. And we're getting a gold line reaction on the 32nd, but we also have a crossover of the 21 and 9. All right, you can see that stochastic is back down at the bottom of the range, so that would be better. Once we get a kind of a reaction here. This is a massive fake out. Yeah, this is a massive fake out on the open, and then now we're gonna continue the downtrend, but really we just kind of pulled back into the range. That's kind of the bad thing here. And this is the first green candle after 5 red candles. So I will not jump in on the break of that guy. We'll wait here and see. If it breaks, could be no break. Stochastic is very oversold, so that's a good sign. Oh, I can't forget I have an order up here. I was about to create one. It's already there. It's that brain power music. All right. We got a little wick back down and a pull up. So if we broke higher here, I'm gonna jump in. See if we can grab it. Come on, grab it for me. Don't stop me out. There we go. All right, so that's it. Nice reaction off of that blue line there, I think. All right, so that's 10 accounts so far passed. Should we do another batch? I don't even know how many I have left. Let's see. Let's do this. I think I have 4 more evaluation accounts available to me at the moment. Oh no, just 3. Oh, let's see. Nope, there are 4. There are 4. Okay. Ah, yeah. Okay, there we go. The biggest... I have to be really careful because there have been times when I've gone into pass accounts and, you know, I do them in batches of a couple at a time, and I go back in and I accidentally trade an account that's already passed and then end up losing and end up blowing it up. That is not a good feeling at all. Looks like I got really lucky on that. That just barely hit my target that I needed in order to get the account passed. So a little bit of luck. You need a little bit of luck to pass evaluation accounts in one shot. Oh, there we go. Let's fix this. All right, let's see if we can make this a little less. Let's see, now I messed with my setup. There we go. Move, scooch it down. There we go. All right, I'm going to take this. We're just gonna, I know this is totally unprofessional, but there we go. All right, so that puts the I don't know if that's the lead account, but one of the evaluation accounts is being copied in this batch on the screen, so you can see that those numbers flash up there. There we go. All right, we're back at it. All right, do we think we're going long off of here? I mean, we could. Yeah, I guess we'll wait. Glad I didn't hit the button right there. I'm gonna try, well, no, I'm not. I'm gonna do 3 contracts. 3 contracts should be plenty. So 15, this ATM is a 15 points target. So what is that? $300 a contract. That's about $1,000. But I could obviously move it up. Wouldn't be a problem. All right, we're getting a little bit of a pause here, which is good. ES is right, it's overnight open. Kind of closed below, then came back up to it, whereas NQ, we're sitting above it. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a try. 3 contracts, should work okay. Move it up a little bit, see if we get 1,500 out of it. Come on. Give it to me. The trailing drawdown is what you gotta kind of watch out for in these, so. Prefer not to give back $1,500 in trailing drawdown without anything to show for it. It's like it just doesn't want to get up there. Come on, come on. What? Are you serious? Was there 10 o'clock news? See, that's dirty. That was dirty. Oh my gosh. Oh, it was 10 o'clock. New home sales. I wasn't paying attention. So there's a problem. I'm down to $1, or not $1, $185 in drawdown on these accounts. Oh, that was harsh. It literally came up like a tick to my target and then stopped me out. I actually think it might have got close to where I had my target. It might have hit the target, but hit the stop first. It rocketed down there. That's crazy. All right, well, we're just gonna buy one and see if we can make a little back. See if we can salvage them. Might as well. Nope. I think we're about to lose them. Bye-bye, birdie. Okay. Yeah. And there it goes. Twice. Oh my gosh. All right. IQ hates me. Oh my goodness. That was and see, it was the trailing drawdown that did it. It pulled way up there and then so I should have been trailing a little bit tighter than that because we were absolutely right. And then look at this one. It comes down and fills me literally at that last tick of that candle before it, I mean, no joke, like pushes up 150 points. I mean, are you Well, that's how it goes. That's how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. This is a lesson in risk management and not over leveraging your account, because you can be absolutely 100% right and still die to drawdown if you are over leveraged. Now, those are evaluation accounts, and so, you know, we the risk was, I guess, acceptable, but that's a little it's a little sad right there. That's crazy. Well, we still have an hour left. Still got time. I don't know, maybe I need to go get some more. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Oh goodness. I'm glad that was just an evaluation account. If that was a PA account, I think that type of I guess the events as they unfolded in that instance would have been enough to probably send me reeling. I would have had to shut everything down, or I probably would have just blown everything up after that. That's a test of your psychology. Is your trade psychology where it needs to be? We're just gonna like poke every button right now and just see what happens. Just see if we can get you to go on tilt. Did you pass the test or not? Well, we were in evaluation count, so I guess we will never know. Let's see, what's my favorite streamer's discount code that I should use for this one? I like to mix them up. Spread the love, as it were. I should have been paying attention. I was thinking that news was at 9:45. I don't know why I was thinking that. If I knew it was news right there, certainly would not have got in, or would have got in just one contract. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's hilarious though. I mean, isn't that how it works though? Let's see. All right, well, we are pulling back down off of that high, so we took out the high of day. If you look on the higher time frames, we've reached way back up into that gap we were talking about and ripped straight back down. We finished this part, maybe we'll go take a look at that. And we were just falling through the floor here. Is this a 10 o'clock reversal? I meant to do 5 accounts, but I lost track. I'm not sure how many I did. It would be really nice if Apex was able to figure out a way that you could buy bulk accounts or batches of 5 or something. Weird. All right, we're straight back down to the, straight back to VWAP. Huh. I think Apex's website is having issues. It's like, all right, well, I don't know how many I did. All right, well, let's give that a second. All right, this could be an opportunity for a little long bounce here. We've got stochastic is down to oversold territory. We're down to the gold line, blue line, green line, VWAP, overnight open, everything's there. We'd have a strong push down here, but just like over here, I would kind of want a candle to wick down here and then pop up before I jumped in, but yeah. See, I always have to be cautious on these trips down here where it gaps down, because oftentimes what can happen is if it's a strong push down, you're going to end up getting kind of a little mini bear flag here and then another leg lower. And if it left a gap, it oftentimes wants to come up and check out that gap before it comes down. So sometimes you can get faked out before a drop. In this case, it looks like that's not going to matter. If it inverts that, might be headed back up. I don't know. All right, that was a strong reaction off that level. I think 50 points. Nice market movement. This is the kind of market where you can pass accounts because it's moving enough. You just can't over leverage, as we saw here. Although I was only in 3 contracts, so it wasn't as though I was throwing everything at it. Just trailing drawdown tagged me. All right, well, while I give the system some time to refresh here, I'm gonna go take a break. I'll be back. All right, we're back. It looks like it's just going up. Just gonna shoot straight back up there. Here's the 15-minute chart. So this was that gap we identified on the hourly chart here. Or no, that was a daily chart. Where do we find that gap at? Come on. I promise. We didn't make it. There it is. There it is. Oh, it's on the daily chart. Okay. All right. So but we've wicked up in there 3 times. This is the 3rd time we've kind of messed around in this area. I mean, poked up there, got an inside candle. We broke the bottom of yesterday's inside candle. Now we're taking out the high of yesterday. That feels bullish. We'll see if we can break through that. I mean, right now you can tell on the 15-minute chart, it's very much being respected. So we shall see. Now let's refresh over here, see if get a new lease on life. There we go, 4 accounts. All right. Here's those 4 accounts. Trade copier. Yeah, I'm gonna have to reset all that up. All right, stand by for a connect, disconnect. Whoa. So much trading. Showing every trade on every copied count. Oof. And chart is back. All right, we're back down inside that 15-minute range. Be cautious. So we get a trade copier to open up here. There we go. All right, what's my leader? Yeah, so there's only 4 accounts here just because that's all I got before. Apex's website started glitching again. They sent out I saw on Discord this morning they were having some kind of a login issue or something, so sure they're working on it. All right, let's recap where we're at today. We took the 3-minute open range break on the PA accounts, just the 2 PA accounts that I have. Took my profits at the overnight open VWAP level, which got me my $400 or so for the day. Obviously, it did go to the 100% level, but the $400 was what I needed to hit my kind of money goal for the day, and that was at a level that we could have seen resistance, so it just made sense to take it. I passed 5 accounts pre-market, or 10 accounts pre-market. I don't know, I can't pass some. And then we blew up 5 because I wasn't paying attention, didn't realize this was a news candle. We were long, and it did go long, but not before the trailing drawdown. It whipped me out due to trailing drawdown. So we're back at it with 4 more accounts, and we'll see if we can get 4 more done and probably call it a day at that point. I think I probably will, but we still have 45 minutes to go, so there's no reason to sit idly by. Although had some nice moves. I mean, just straight up off of the open, this sort of consolidation. I mean, right before the news, I guess that makes sense that I should have been the clue. I mean, you went sideways for literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, almost 10 minutes of just straight sideways action, and before the news took it higher, and now we are rejecting. We're rejecting off of a level that we have been rejecting off of for the last 3 days. You kind of go back and see this area right here is just, we poked above it here. All right, we poked above it on the 17th. And then held right in there yesterday. Came down below it. Then today we tested it right back up and right back down. So something's there holding us down. But we keep getting these little bounces. Jeez, candles are just huge. I'm not very confident, honestly, in this area right here because we are just bouncing here. I mean, we do have, I was looking for some other kind of confirmation. We have a little divergence going on right here. So, I don't know. Got a straight 37-point jump off the break of that prior candle. And straight back down. It's kind of winding up here. Every time it comes down to this level, it fails to bounce higher. Or at least, I guess, the last 2 times that it has. Broke back out of the open range. I don't know, is this... Alright. Let's try it out here. Only 3 contracts. Got a little bit of room. See if we get that first $1,000. Turn off the sound on that trade copy. That's driving me crazy. If there's too much hesitation, I tend to want to jump out of things just because I don't want the trailing drawdown to... Well, I guess we should have held that one. All right. Third of the way there. Could have been halfway there. But we have our full drawdown. So now instead of having to make $3,000 on a $2,500 drawdown, now we only have to make $2,000 basically with $2,500 drawdown. So those numbers should be more in our favor. See, the big trick here is to just don't get chopped up because candles are moving so much. It's like if you wanted a long here with a stop below the low, I mean, you could be looking at a 70-point stop or something like that. You need to make sure you give yourself enough room for the market to play out. Otherwise you just continually get stopped, even though you're right. Even though the market does go where you know it's going to go. If you don't give it enough room to get there, it'll take all your money before it goes. Kind of interesting. You look at the stochastic and it was like big ranging, and then now it's kind of starting to tighten up a little bit here. We did just have a 5-minute close, and it was a green candle with a nice little wick on the top of it. Wick on both sides. Very similar on both ES and NQ at the moment. If we can pass these 4, that'll be 14 accounts passed today. Had 10 failures. So I guess at the moment I'm 10 for 20, 10 out of 20. Which is pretty typical. I think, I don't know. If I were to guess, I think my recent average is like 3 to 1. It takes me 3 tries to get an account passed. And again, that's passing it, trying to get it passed kind of all at once, not trading it slow and methodically. I have my trade process for PA accounts. And the whole purpose of this stream is to try and follow that process and get all those accounts to pay out. We followed that earlier this morning. We got our win, so now that's why we're doing the eval thing right now. We're gonna set ourselves up for a nice start Monday. All right, so it's holding up there. It is holding up there. If you'll notice, every time it came down for one of these, you know, we had a peak, we had a drop. So we dropped down to levels. We have EMAs and things going on here. We got clear support at this level. And then that confirmed with the fact that the stochastic is oversold. You know, those are the types of confluences I'm looking for to give me confidence in a trade. Oftentimes I've seen bounces off of, you know, if you're just taking a straight bounce, candle break bounce off of really any line, but especially this green line. If the stochastic isn't confirming it, meaning it's, you know, down close to this 20% level if you want to go long, or if you're going short, it's up close to this 80% level. Oftentimes you'll just get wicked into something. It's not done pulling back or consolidating yet. So that's why I like to have these on the chart, is because they confirm that this pullback to the line should get some kind of a bounce, or it's more likely to. And when you go back and look at it, I mean, it's pretty clear that that's what happens. Sometimes when the market's a little slower, it's not as clear and clean. Usually New York session, when there's plenty of volume, lots of stuff happening, then it's a little more obvious. And right now it's pegged up there at like 95% on the stochastic. And we seem to be continuing higher. I kind of want to wait. This is an area where I usually get myself into trouble if I try and either catch a reversal. Although these inside wicks, part of me wants to short this right now. These bottom wicks on the inside of these things really like to get retested. And there it goes, straight back down. See, you can take these. I like this where it came all the way down here, then tested up, because a lot of times you'll get a little retest up and then, or a little wick up on the next candle, and then it drops back down. You know, not talking about a reversal, but just saying, you know, these wicks like to get retested. And that's why I have these candle quarters on here. You can see my little hash marks. Because I would be looking at this probably to come down to at least that level on this candle. I really wanted to take that. The other nice thing about it is if you just like sold this close, you could have like bigger candles, but you know, relatively speaking, say you had a 15-point stop just above this candle's high. So if it's going to keep going, you know, you get stopped out and it keeps going. That's no big deal, but you can usually have a pretty tight stop with a little bit of a better risk reward. You know, that's 20 points or so to the bottom quadrant of that prior candle. So now here we're starting to make some higher highs. We didn't really get much higher than this high over here though, so might be kind of ranging right now. I actually really like ranges if there's a clear range, because again, you can use the stochastics for those. The stochastics will confirm when you're kind of at the top of the range, and you can sell right at the top when the stochastic's there with a short stop just above that high, because if it breaks out, then you know you just get out quickly. Otherwise, you can take it kind of like all the way to the other side of the range, which usually can be a pretty nice move. So the risk reward on those is awesome. You can get stopped out though, so they are a little higher risk, because if it just decides that's the point at which the range wants to break, there's nothing you can do about it. But again, the risk reward is pretty good. I mean, that's a little bit of a bull flag right there. All right. Gosh, such big ranges on these candles. All right, see if we get a little pop up here. I might. Yeah, let's go there. Let's see if we can. That was a strong close higher. See if we get another leg up. I don't like my stochastic is, obviously not where I want it to be for long, but kind kind of pushing up here. We broke that high. Let's see if it can get a little bit of follow through without stopping me out. Again, this is just a choppy area, so maybe not a great spot to be involved. Yeah, I think we're gonna get stopped. Okay. All right, we're down 500. Still have $800 to go though. I don't know, I might lower risk though because, well, I have to now because $800. All right, well now we have a divergence now. You know what, I'm going to, maybe this is dumb. Let's see if this can push down through here. Not quite yet. Has an auto break even on that, but since we're already way down in drawdown, got enough on that upside. All right, so see if it takes out this low. All right, now it'll move to break even. There we go. There we go. Let's see if I can go ahead and, oh, come on. Don't wick all the way back up. Not all the way. Come on. Nope. Down, down, down. See, we're at this 21. I don't know. There we go. All right. Well, we got something. We got something back. We got something back. I'm a little cautious. I want to try and get the drawdown back up, which it is. The reason that I took that trade is that, and it could still come down, but I don't know. We're at the EMA, so we'll wait and see. This is kind of what I was talking about with the range trade. Let me get rid of the, they're not properties. Let me get rid of the entries because they're clouding up the chart here. But a little bit of a divergence. This one isn't super clear, but we had a clear high. We had a clear higher high on the candles, and the stochastic. You know, you can kind of see at this point, the stochastic was pretty much pegged at the high. And then when this popped back up, the stochastic was still coming down. So it's not as pretty of a divergence, but you can see stochastic clearly angling down, well price angling up. Also off of, you know, I mean, this is basically this range right here that we're in. Let's see what would be the best. I mean, it's almost more like a sideways channel, right? So we're kind of bouncing. So we're at the top here. We have the stochastic confirmation with a divergence, and down we go. Just like I was talking about low risk reward. Now, if I was, because I was in a long trade getting stopped out, if I wasn't in a long trade getting stopped out and I was looking for a reversal off of here and I noticed that, would have wanted to probably, as soon as this candle started to reject down, jump in closer to this level so that my stop could be just above here. You know, again, maybe a 15-point stop, but if it goes all the way back down to the bottom of this channel, you know, that could be 100 points. So that's why I say I kind of like channel trading. If you can identify the channel and then use those stochastic confirmations. That can be a pretty effective scalping strategy. The stochastics, I learned the stochastics from Day Trading Radio, DTR. If that's something that interests you, he does. I do it different. I don't use them the same way that he does. I basically took those stochastics and applied it to you know, kind of my style of trading with the EMAs. So he doesn't do it exactly the same as I do, but it's the same basic concept. And he actually uses 4 different stochastics, and he's got this quad rotation thing that he looks for where all 4 are kind of in the same area. You know, if all 4 are oversold, that's a very high probability long. Some different things like that. So day trading radio, he's worth checking out. He's been doing this a long time. Much longer than me. In fact, nothing that I do, I created. But I think that's how trading is. Nothing's new. It's just there's unlimited variations on the application of knowledge in the trading space. But at the end of the day, it's an auction. There's buyers and sellers. We know the big players can manipulate the auction, but I mean, here we pushed up and got sold down, and every time we've come back, we haven't been able to push higher, right? So kind of tells you before it goes higher or lower, but higher here because that's where the rejection is. Before it breaks this high, it looks like it's going to need to pick up some steam. So either it's going to just kind of consolidate here for a while and then break higher, which a lot of times you see a fake out on one side. Get a channel, in this case, maybe a little fake out to the bottom and then back up to the top. Or it just wears out up here, and if it can't push higher, it will drop down lower. And then you have to either watch for a change of trend. I mean, when you look at the higher time frames, you could be saying, well, you know, here's the 15-minute chart, right? We gapped up and now we're consolidating here. So logic, you know, there's probably some order sitting down here, right? So maybe it needs to come down here before it can then push back up. Or it could just consolidate here and work its way up, but we have an inside bar on the 15-minute chart too. And if this were to close, we still have 5 minutes left, but if this were to close as an inside bar, that'd be 2 inside bars, which tells you there's significant consolidation and probably a move coming. All right, we're kind of bouncing off the, well, it's not bouncing, but we are at the gold line. We had a cross of the 9 and the 21. First cross really of the day. It came close up here, but not quite. But we did get a cross here, so this kind of looks like a place to honestly for me to stay out of, because stochastics are oversold, right? So that indicates a potential long, but the candle action tells me it could be coming down some more. So I don't, based on the candles, want to short this, but stochastic isn't convinced. So and if we got in here with a stop below here, we'd be at 30 points, $600 a contract. So it's $1,200 on 2 contracts. We have $1,600 in drawdown. Now, if we get a break above this candle's high, I might consider going long here. Now there's the break. You can do it. Yeah, let's do it. Probably give it a little more. This comes back down and closes inside this gap. I'll kill it early. It's kind of what I'm watching there. We had an inversion, so we did take out some lows here. We got a little bit of a fair value gap inversion there. Don't want to get stopped out for break even here. Let it come back a little bit. Well, I cannot see those numbers on there. 870, is that what that is? Oof. A little much. All right, we might be getting across of these lines back to the upside, so that could bode well for us. Maybe I'm gonna move my target out if well, I don't even need it that far out. I don't know what I need it at. It's up like 200 bucks, so I guess I need 2,800 in case it just decides to run there. Yeah, it's getting some hesitation right there. Yeah, I'm just gonna take that. Trading very, very cautiously because right in the middle of this range just isn't a great place. Stochastics now into overbought territory. I mean, it could just blow up there. I mean, that's not outside the realm of possibility, but well, we salvaged them. We were down to $700-800 in drawdown. We're now back up to almost full drawdown, 2,200 bucks. Of course, the marketing in and marketing out means that they're all at really weird places. Anywhere from $934 positive to $774. So literally $150 of range in the current account balances, just based off of different entry and exit points. All right, so those EMAs have crossed back up, and it is pushing higher at the moment. 5-minute candles are getting ready to close. Closing very, very bullish. All right, there it goes. There's a little bit of a pop. I look at this gap only because we gapped down, came back up, tested it, and then pushed lower. So if it holds on the way back up, that's a nice bullish sign. All right, so here we have the opening of the next 5-minute candle. So it gets a little bit of a pullback. There we go, there's a little bit. We're also right at this 25,000 level, which I only just noticed now. It's really sort of taking its time up here. Nice round number, keeps a lot of people interested for a lot of different reasons. There's no more news, so that's good. All right, straight back down, straight back up. Definitely ranging, definitely getting tight. 15-minute candle has 3 more minutes. We're still on an inside bar. 3.5 minutes. Oh, that was a very bullish reaction off of down here. Just such big candles, 52-point candle. Let's see if we can't get a little fall through on that one. No bueno. No. I think it's gonna hit my stop. Nope. If it doesn't, we'll be very, very lucky because that stop's not at any level that makes sense. It's just kind of hanging out in no man's land. Although after this candle closes, if it closes green, then I guess it makes sense. There we go. I can't have it there. In fact, I think I need to keep it down here. Oof. We're gonna run into trailing drawdown issues again. Come on, give me a little push. A little push. Let's go. I'll just pop up there. You can do it. You can do it. No, you can't. Come on, come on. I don't even know if that's 7. I think I needed a little more than that, didn't I? Oh, yeah, I do. I'm $500 short. I should have moved it up just a little bit. Well, that was a close one. I mean, I got lucky because my stop didn't get taken here, even though the stop was, I mean, there's nothing there. That was just kind of a random spot. So that was very, very lucky. But when it's whipping like this, I mean, you know, in the space of 2 minutes, it pulled back 61 points and then popped up like 100. So those are really tricky conditions when you have trailing drawdown because you have to go in kind of small. I mean, leaving enough room in your account for a 60 point, you know, that's $1,200 a contract. That's a big. That's a lot of space. And then if it goes up a little bit before it pulls back, then you can just be out of luck. All right, so let's set a target, $500. All right, time for some trading math. Oh yeah, I should have moved that target. Look at that, just go. So let's see. I have 3 contracts, so 500 divided by 3. I need that much. Divided by $20 a point times 4 ticks per point. So say 34 ticks is what I need in order to get these to where they need to be. So I'm just gonna change my, I'll give it a little more on the drawdown too, because that's kind of tight. And I'm gonna edit this. No, that won't matter. Okay. We'll edit the ATM strategy to set the target automatically to what I need to get these closed. Okay, this is interesting. So 15-minute chart, candle closed above that gap that we had identified. So that's interesting. What does the hourly candle show? We got 15 minutes till the close of this hourly candle. If it closes up here, well, that could be pretty bullish. That could be pretty bullish. So we never did get a test, at least on the 15-minute chart. We never did get a test back down to that gap. So the fact that we had that gap, it held, and now we pushed higher. We shall see. I'm gonna leave those lines on there so I can remind myself what I was thinking. See what plays out here. I mean, again, this is kind of a high resistance area. There's a lot of interest up here. So, not really expecting it to just blast to the moon until it does. This would have been a prime short. We were right at a VWAP line, little reversal candle at the top of the range with an overbought stochastic. You know, that would have got me what I needed. How much? What is this? Oh, that's my. We're catching up to my line from the other chart, from the hourly chart. So, never mind that. All right, what was I? Okay, I gotta remind myself. 34 tick. What was it, 8 points? So we need about 10 points. Just because 10's an easier number. I need about 10 points of range in order to get this done. That'd be 14 accounts. Probably stop there. And we got another pop higher. Top of the range is 15 points away. But this looks kind of like over here, doesn't it? Where we get kind of a... Took its time working its way up. Back, strong candle, boom. Back down, so we'll see if... I don't know. I'm not overly confident. I'm feeling kind of 50-50 at this point. Definitely bias long. But this really isn't a pullback. It's not a pullback, but maybe that's all we get. Maybe that's it. All right, there's the high day. Yeah, if we'd have bought that, we would be done. All right, we are definitely on an uptrend. Very, very definitely. So we did break out of the top of this range, either kind of this upward channel. I guess if we mark it that way, we haven't broken through the top. We're right in the middle of it. So we could draw it a different way. Let's draw it a way that we like. This channel here. I don't know. Getting wicks up at the top here. We're still hanging at that VWAP line. We did close above it. Getting some resistance though. Again, we only need 8 points, so we don't need the market to like really go anywhere too exciting here. I'm gonna take a break short. If we break this short, I think it's highly likely that we get our 8 points. It only has to come down to like there, right? Unless it just wicks under here and skyrockets back up, but maybe that's what it's gonna do. The longer it hesitates here, the more I'm likely to just bail early because we are on an uptrend. This is a counter trend trade. There it goes. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Did we get it? We got it. All right, so that's 14 accounts passed today. 4 of them on stream, I think, if I remember right. The other 10 I did before stream. But that's how it goes. That's how we pass accounts. Passing accounts at this stage is not the hard part. Keeping accounts and being consistent is the hard part. But that is the name of the game. We did it before the end of our session. We still have 9 minutes left. So I think I might call it here. We accomplished what I set out to accomplish. I mean, it'll be kind of interesting if we break out of here. I mean, you can see these. I mean, these levels are pretty clear, right? We created kind of this high, double top, triple top. I don't know if you count this as 2 or 1, but at any rate, right? Create some support resistance right here. Poked above it, came back, retested it exactly, and then took off. So this is looking pretty long to me, pretty bullish until we really break down below, you know, these levels. If we start to take out these lows on the way down, right? If we got some kind of a lower low and a pullback, well, maybe we get some shorts, but you know, until it does that, this could be a grind up. We are looks like the hourly candle is going to invert this this daily gap. And again, we're kind of bullish biased anyway because we took out the prior day low. Right here was the low of day from yesterday. We took out the low at open and then headed back up, took out the high of the prior day candle. So this is fairly bullish right now. Great day, much better than yesterday. Yesterday was very, very choppy in the morning, and then it turned out it actually turned out okay. I think let's go back and look at that. We still have 2 minutes here. Oh, we have 7 minutes. And this is what I was talking about when I was talking about, or what I was referring to when I was talking about, you know, the range. I mean, here you are in this channel, right? In the morning, it's really kind of nothing going on. It's just mayhem. But once we kind of get up here, we start to get price sort of, you know, moving point to point with a little more direction, right? Here, each candle is just, you know, in the open, it was every candle's kind of retaking itself. There's no real direction at all. It's going up, kind of creating new highs, coming lower, creating new lowers, but each candle is just going right back and forth. So it's very, very challenging. But once it starts to open up here, well, then you can kind of identify this channel in here, right? We have the overnight open, which is a clear resistance level above us. And then we got this line lower. I mean, once it kind of comes down here, we create from this spot, I think, to this spot. Could do even this one, but here we get a wick lower. Anytime, you know, and really I'm looking for these reversal candles, you know, a little wick that shows, you know, hey, I tried and I failed. I tried and I failed. Those are try, fail, right? That's kind of what I see when I see a wick. I tried to go up there and I couldn't. And then you combine that with the stochastic. So once this is sort of set, well, now we go back up here. We tried and failed. Right, so we're way up at the top. Our stochastic is way up here. Now this one goes sideways for a long time, but it does fall all the way back down. Once you get down towards the bottom, we have the red line. We have a wick candle, tried and failed. And we have, you know, we're down in here to oversold. Boom. Okay, well, let's try that long. Let's go up. And again, just looking at scalps here, or you could take it until the stochastic gets to the other side. If you'd have held this one, if you'd have taken this short way up here and held it all the way down here, it would have been a while, but you know, wait till the stochastic gets back down to oversold and then sell out. You could do that, or you could take a quick scalp, either way. Then what happens? We get up here, we got two little candles. Tried and failed, tried and failed, tried and failed. And we have, well, I can't really put the circle over it, but you see the stochastic way up there. Boom. Back down to the bottom. And then what happens again? Oh, we tried and failed. Right? You would not get suckered into this, even though you're at the VWAP, and you could say, oh man, what if we get a bounce here? You wouldn't be suckered into that because stochastic's like in no man's land, right? So let's wait and see what happens. Tried and failed, stochastic confirms, boom, boom. You know, I just buy the close of that candle. And again, I took some of these. I don't remember which ones I took or didn't take, but and then same thing. We got a nice. I mean, even this little. You know, you're looking at 40 points or something in that little push. I mean, that's fine. Then you know, you would not take a short here. Why? Because we tried and failed, but we're not at a level. I mean, I guess we're kind of at these lines, but we've been crossing that gold line. So, you know, I wouldn't count on that gold line. We've crossed it 14 times. Stochastic is in the middle. So it's not confirmed. There's nothing to do. And then what happens here? We tried and failed. Now this one's trickier because it did come back up one more time, like a tick, to try and fail again before it dropped. You know what I mean? So this one would have taken some patience to sit through, but again, tried and failed. stochastic confirms, and we drop. This one we have a stochastic, but we didn't try and fail, right? We tried and held lower, and then it ripped back up. So that's kind of the signal. Well, I don't know. See what happens. And then what do? We create a lower high. We fail to take out a new low, and then we come up, and it's now we're kind of back into regular. You know, now it's like, okay, I don't think we're in this range anymore because we're not just shooting through the lines. Every time over here, we're shooting through the lines. So that's a range. You know, now we pushed way up higher. We came back lower. We failed to push higher. And now our moving averages are supporting price. And push down, a pullback. We have a try and fail. Now the stochastic's messy at this point because the market is kind of shifting its momentum. But we came below, you know, these candles lows. We come up, we have a nice reversal candle at the green line. Everything's crossing the red line at this point, or about to, and there's a short. Even if you waited for that one, wait for that one, you get a pullback. Now you get a try and a fail. It's a little try and a fail, but you also have this kind of inside bar here. Short that, and I did take this. I remember taking this trade. Or did I take a long off of here? I don't remember. I shouldn't say without my stuff up there, but there you go. Stochastic confirms. We're kind of at the line. We're at the gold line here, and then boom. Remember, these lines are not like hard lines in the sand. Moving averages are just kind of. Heard somebody say it's more like a zip code, right? It's not a property line. It's just a zip code. So anyway, that was yesterday. I'm gonna take all my lines off here because these are driving me crazy. All right, that was the recap. Way more of a recap. And where are we at? Still pushing higher, grinding higher. Is this gonna be a grindy up day? It could be. It could be. You know what I just realized? All that ranting and raving and nonsense I just went through, I wasn't even showing the chart. So forget it. If you didn't see it, sorry. Nobody's watching me right now, so if you're tuning in later, I apologize. You've probably turned it off already anyway because you can't see what I'm talking about. But it was good for me to talk through it. This is like my therapy session. Talking to myself is my therapy session. All right. Have a good weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you Monday. Bye-bye.